Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic race we have for you on RPG Limit Break for the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament 2020. I am Sigma Fan, and we're going to have a great race tonight between apexcorvid and Nimanva, or Nimanva. Yeah, something like that. And joining alongside me on the commentary booth is Azrael Ravenheart. And Azrael, I think we're going to have a good match tonight.
Yes, should be a great matchup. Both of these racers are relatively close in the seeding initially. And joining us tonight will be Kingalis on Tracker and Lord of the Synth on the Restream.
Powerful combination if I've ever seen one. And it looks like both of them are going to be using what strength HP build.
Checking on that right now. Actually, no. So Apex will be on the classic strength HP build. Frax, as it is spelled there, is actually strength agility instead of strength HP. So seeing a little bit of difference tonight.
So Apex will be trading in a little bit of hit points to get that boosted later on. Nimanva will be trading in a little bit of agility early on, and will be getting some, hopefully, more defense in the future.
Yeah, this will be interesting. The usual separation that this will cause will pay off when it comes to diving Sharlock at the end of the race, where oftentimes that 10% extra gain or so that you end up with puts you 7 or 8 agility points higher, and that could mean a few extra percents to run from Red Dragons and Armor Knights. Could also, with the extra couple defense points, mean that we are defense breaking more enemies in Sharlock, which will be relevant for the Repel spell that is currently active in dungeons with this tournament's flags.
And not only that, but on the inverse as well, that extra HP could be the difference between it being Death Necklace being viable. And if both of the attack points for both of our runners get there or not.
This is very, very true. It could also be the difference between grinding one more level and not grinding that extra level come the end of the game. And we are off.
So here's the story. The Dragon Lord is a jerk. He stole a ball of light, and you need to get it back. There are 3 chests. You get what's inside them. And we have some wings to start, so that could save you a key. A curse belt, that would get you some money to sell. And there's the magic key.
Alright, so we have both runners using the wings to exit the castle. This allows you to save that initial key. That can be done with either wings or the return spell at level 1. Does not look like we have the return spell, however. I expect, both runners are going to go back upstairs to the king. The door is magically gone, and they will save in order to have the ability to reset out of a bad treasury. I expect to see both people immediately check treasury, see if there's any goodies in there. If it's bad, reset, keep your key for later.
It's just standard operating procedure when it comes to this race.
So far we got water,
we got gold.
Water,
gold
wings,
run.
herb, and a gold. Alright, so the gold will be the most critical thing in the treasury here. And we see that little pause debating on was that key worth it or not. Both runners electing to not. We might see basement check, we might not. Wouldn't be too surprised to see a basement check, given that we saw the castle is absolutely swamped.
Yeah, but you got some desert and you got some mountains right near the castle, so you can possibly go for a level absolutely, but you're going to be starting with like a 14 health.
And I actually like what DW Edit in chat brings up. Early fairy water in the treasury. That might have actually just been worth the key alone, because you can come over here where we've now found a Magidrake or any other decent early game enemy and kill it with the fairy water. So that free level 2, level 3 might have actually been worth using the key.
Possibly. Nimanva actually decided to dive the basement, and it looked like Garen's grave, and ran to a stone man, and stone man decided to do his usual squash.
Alright, so Nimanva has knowledge of the grave. Apex does not yet. Not super critical quite yet, but we'll see if it ends up paying off in a few minutes, as we see both players just kind of taking to early level grinds. Not too much to really explore with stats this low. So get a couple levels. If you get early heals or early hurt, see where we go from there. And that's when Grave might end up paying off the fact that Nimanva has the knowledge of it.
Yeah, especially when you have stone men down there. And we have level 2 on Apex's side. So we get our first look at that. 6 power, 11 agility, 15 hit points, 1 magic point, and we have the hurt spell and the stop spell.
Hurt is absolutely massive here. We have already seen Magidrakes and Scorpions very close to the castle. You could easily take a very quick level 4, level 5, see if you get some extra boosts. If nothing else, you're just going to have a nice cushion of stats to work with exploring, but seems like both players are a little exploration first and EXP second.
And Nimanva actually just got level 2 as well.
And we see immediately putting that hurt spell to use and getting a very snappy level 3.
6 power, 8 agility, 5 hit points, 5 magic points. Oh, and a new spell. It's Repel, which is a good spell, just not right now.
And here comes level 4 on Apex's side. 2 power, 0 agility, 9 HP, 14 MP. Alright, so we have big MP and early hurt. I would love to see some real quick early grinding, get to 5, 6. See where you get a nice big break that'll make it very comfortable to explore a little bit further away from the castle.
I would be in total agreement right there.
And we see on Apex's side, just north of the castle, is in fact a dead end.
It looked very tempting though, didn't it?
Yeah, those narrow land bridges always bait you into checking them, because the last thing you want to do is assume this is just a dead end, and then have like a town tucked half a screen away when you turned away from it. They're the kind of things that you hate not checking. They're the kind of things that haunt your thoughts as you play the seed. If you happen to get knocked out by a Sharlock enemy right before seeing and confirming that it's a dead end, and then when you come around later looking for that like one last location, you're always just like, did I check this? Did I not? I don't remember. And if you think that you did actually see the end of it, it can bite you.
2, 2, 4, and 0 for level 5. Not that much of a level. Empty Eye does love the magic point gain there.
And it's very good that we have early hurt in this seed, because our attack power is... It's not terrible, but it's not shaping up to a level that you're going to need if you want to push a little further and check a little bit further away from the castle. A lot of those mid-game enemies that you want to be preying on, the 40, 50, 60 EXP range, we're just not quite cutting it on strength yet.
And you're not cutting it on raids and Druid Lords.
So this is actually a little odd from Apex. Maybe forgetting... Oh, okay, remembers that there's gold in the treasury, so I like this play then. Get just enough money to buy one extra key, unlock the key shop, go back after you've bought one key, crack the treasury, and then you can fill up your keys from here, and you get a free basement check, which I expect to see right after as well. So very good play from Apex.
I just thought of an idea about this, since both of the players know that there's a gold there. And it looks like Nimanva is kind of doing the same thing. But Nimanva also knows that Garrett's grave is down there, so if I were to play this, I would open up the door and then jump into the grave, and since you're a better level now, you have a little more agility, you could probably run against the stone men, and you could gold grind that way.
Yeah, definitely a valid option. I think the only issue with that play is we have not seen a town yet. So we have nowhere to take that gold once we have it. The gold grind, while it's definitely the fastest way to get money, is in no means fast. So not knowing how much you want to grind up for and taking that time to get, who knows, if you go all out, we're talking 25,000 gold. That could take a solid minute or two. And then you have to save and actually make it to a town with that money. And not having knowledge of a town yet, you're going to reset to keep your money, and then you don't get to keep your EXP. I don't think I like that line of play yet. But hopefully both of these runners have that right in the back of their heads. Now that they know that there's the grave there, keys aren't an issue anymore as we manage to stock up. As soon as you find a town, if it's close enough, I would be thinking about that gold grind very quickly.
And Nimanva is actually trying to figure out where he is in Garen's grave.
I have nothing but respect for people who do the dark caves. I can only do swamp dark, and not even if I have to check the spike tile. It's something I'm terribly not comfortable with, and it probably bites me in some races, but to be able to do it, and it looks like the grave is kind of friendly outside of the stone men. So we might actually get to see the first 3 chests up here in the grave. And we have our first town on Apex, and it's Garenham.
It's a great town to find. Ooh, Stones of Sunlight find. Oh, we got multiple Stones of Sunlight. Looks like it's a torch. And we have one other item, I do believe. Or did he get it?
And over in Garenham, we have an herb, gold, And more gold. Alright, so decent little bit of gold here to potentially check the shop and see what's cooking here in Garenham.
Right, but Apex is going to check what's underneath, and it looks like another cave, and it appears to be Tablet Cave.
Yeah, and Tablet Cave, notably the one that you do not want to do in the dark if you do not have 100% confidence that you know your way to and from the chest. Because there are no encounters in Tablet Cave. So if you don't have outside and you don't have light and you get stuck in Tablet Cave, you might be there for the rest of the seed. But we are seeing Large Shield and Hand Axe for apexcorvid. Very good purchases early on. And probably going to see the Dragon Scale as well. And maybe even stocking up on a complement of herbs. And yeah, I like this. Grab a couple torches as well. Get
1 power,
Tablet
5 speed, 1 hit point, and I think it said like 3 magic points. I gotta... Yeah.
Looks like 2. Looking at the differences in the stats at the bottom of the screen.
And while people are checking stuff out, we advise everyone to check out the Randomizer and our Discord. You know, become a member of our community, as Moobot has already put up on the chat. We also invite you to give our racers a follow on apexcorvid and Nimanva, as they are great runners and deserve your support. Not only that, also give our restreamer Lord of the Synth a follow, along with Kigalis, who is our tracker, and give Azrael and myself a follow as well. We much appreciate it.
And on the race, I really love what Apex is doing here. There's 2 gold chests in the back of Garenham, doing a little bit of a ghetto gold grind to get up to the 3,000 for the half plate that happens to also be in the shop. So, gear-wise, Apex is going to have a very comfortable time starting to explore with pretty solid amounts of extra defense over Nimanva here. And still expect to see the Tablet Cave check as well, now that we bought torches. Get the item there, don't leave it for later. You're only going to possibly regret if you leave it for later.
Yeah, Tablet Cave is one of those that it's a coin flip whether you check or not, but more times than I have seen, those that do check it are happy that they have at the end of the race. Save yourself a lot of time that way.
Yeah, and if nothing else, after buying torches and everything, and opening the door 3 times, why not check it? You're gonna have to spend another key if you have to go back there later, and it's not, like, it's a little slow for 1 check, but there's no encounters. You can get in, get out, get done with your business, not worry about it, not waste another key later. And since we haven't really hit the point of quote-unquote infinite keys, where we're always generating so much money every single spawn, and as we see, Rim older, so more keys. Keys are not an issue this seed.
And Apex will go buy some more cheap keys and check out the chest that's in the inn.
Yeah, definitely needs to restock on keys. Depleted the store a little bit on doing that ghetto gold grind in Garenham, but I still think it was absolutely the correct play. It didn't take very long, and you have very comfortable gear for exploring right now, so definitely good call on Apex's part.
I agree, it's absolutely worth it.
And once again, Rimoldar with the scam of the century. Pay 2 keys, get 1 back.
No, that's not the scam of the century. The scam of the century is if it's a torch. You pay 112 gold, and you get something that costs $8.
This is true. From a monetary standpoint, I do believe Torch is the scam of the century. But from a feeling standpoint, when you've gone and bought your keys and you're using 2 keys to check that one chest, getting a key feels awful. You just got them, like, you want those keys elsewhere so you can get them without spending keys to get there, but it just feels bad. As we see a green dragon send Apex back to start, it didn't look like there was anything too terribly threatening, and we see Nimanva going with a gold grind now that he is out of the grave, and we might be seeing Apex go down to the grave, which may lead to another gold grind. Apex has had a little bit of time to find some towns and check some shops, so we'll know exactly how much gold he will want from a gold grind, whereas Nimanva just kind of has to pick an amount. Looks like we might be going for the full Monty. Get yourself up to 26,000 so you can buy Flame Sword, Magic Armor, and Silver Shield if you find all 3 of them. The danger here is I don't think he has seen a town yet, so little dicey on exploring with this much money in your pocket.
Well, the benefit is you know that the king is available, so you save at the king, you have your 33,000 some odd gold, and if things go pear-shaped, you can hit reset and be good.
This is true, but we have only 37, 38 agility, so our run luck isn't terribly great, and you're going to want to kill a lot of the middling enemies with hurt along the way. So a reset costs you more than it would if you were waiting to do this a little later, or at least until you have 100% knowledge of what shop you're taking this money to and what is along the way to get there from the castle. So we'll see if it pays off, or we'll see if this opens up a ballooning EXP lead potentially for Apex if there has to be a couple resets along the way.
That's true, but I think Nimanva is going to be fine because we haven't really seen any bad enemies in this neck of the woods. And he's got herbs, so he'll be okay health-wise.
Oh, mate, I might have missed that Nimanva had found a town, because it looks like he just beelined it straight for this town that he's heading for. And
a metal slime gets with sleep, but runs away, so it's fine.
Alright, so this was actually just maybe got lucky, found a town, and of course, when you're carrying 34,000 gold, what other town would you find besides good old Hawksness?
Sadly, he doesn't have the Binding of Isaac money equals power up, so yeah.
And looks like Nimanva just going to find another dead end. So, has knowledge that you need to go south from here, or from the castle, but doesn't actually have the knowledge of the 2 towns that Apex had found. And you gotta take a little bit of a trip through the swamp. We did see a green dragon, and here's a Magiwyvern, which isn't exactly exciting when your stats are this low, but it's not the end of the world. It's not a red dragon or an AK-47, so probably feeling a little scared with this much money in your pocket, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do once you've done the gold grind. And we're gonna see level 7 on Apex. 1 power, 11 speed, 1 HP, and 3 MP. That's a lot of ones. But not a disappointing level, not a great level though.
And Nimanva finds Garanham. So, making a beeline to the shop. We'll be a bit disappointed that none of the high-ticket items are there. But he's going to get some good equipment, like full plate, and gonna buy a shield, and will he buy the hand axe?
Yeah, I actually like this because he still has enough money, even after buying all of those items, to buy the whole suite if you find the jackpot shop. Because that's about 25,000 gold that you need to buy magic, flame, and silver. So, or actually, my math is bad. You need about 30,000. So, a little under right now, but once he cracks open the back of Garanham, he'll have the extra money that he needs. So, not too bad. Big Slamu, we're basically at full keys right now. There was one in the treasury, or they got to keep their starter, and then there was gold in the treasury. So they both, after getting enough money to buy one extra key, cracked open the back, bought the one key, cracked open the treasury, and stocked up.
And Apex is actually going down to the bottom of the grave. I did not see what was in that fourth chest. Doesn't look like it was much. But at the bottom is it something good?
A torch.
Oh, torch.
Not anything of value, and that's gonna feel kind of bad with no outside, having to walk back out of the grave. I would probably be hoping to find anything that can kill you in here. Just, it's so much faster than walking through all the floors of the grave.
And
We're
let's
gonna.
face it, skeletons aren't gonna be the ones to kill you.
But
hey, you beat them.
We are pretty sure that this is actually Tablet behind Garanham, not Mountain Cave. But if we light this up, we'll see very quickly. Yep, this is Tablet. Good use of the torch there to make sure before you get yourself lost in the darkness. And Tablet is just another... Man, Garanham was loaded. 2 chests of money in the back of Garanham, and then another one at the bottom of the Tablet cave in the basement. Wowee.
And Apex got some good news, found a enemy that could kill him. And that was a werewolf. Now Gold Grind is definitely on for Apex.
That was, yeah.
He's been in Rimmildar.
Wombo combo Wolf Lords, apparently.
And not going to Gold Grind.
So we know Garanham's shop for sure, as we just saw it again. Both players bought the best that Garanham has to offer. I didn't catch the Remolder shop check. It's possible that Remolder just didn't have... did Apex never check it? I thought...
Never checked it.
Ugh. Yeah, so... Definitely worth checking, especially when you're not that far away from the castle and you know that the grave is in the basement. I don't know whether I like that play or not. We'll see what happens later from it.
And what I really don't like is that reset.
Yeah, this is the danger of gold grinding without a place to go with it. You spend that time investment gold grinding, and you pretty much have to take a choice between dying, losing a chunk of the gold grind money, but keeping the EXP and whatever you've bought along the way, in this case was pretty decent mid-game equipment, or taking the reset, losing the EXP, losing the time, but gaining the knowledge, versus, alright, I haven't found anything good, let me keep the mid-game stuff, and then I can always gold grind again once I have a set location to find it, so...
That's true. If you find Mountain Cave or Swamp South and you're grinding for what's on the spike tile, it kills you, you can go grind then.
And it looks like at level 8, we have gained not much in the way of anything except MP. Another double-digit MP growth, and we have gained Return. So no more need for wings.
Gotta be looking for heal to pop up soon.
Yeah, with this much MP, you're just... even normal heal is going to be good enough right now. Just something to keep you out on the map longer. And with that level that Apex got last time, I think it's a good time to explain the stats that you see at the bottom of the screen. So, there are 3 different colors that you will see: white, orange, and green. White means that we are not dealing with stats that are more than likely going to be comfortable enough to fight the Dragon Lord. Orange means that we are close to what we're looking for, and theoretically that it's possible. And green is pretty much the green light to go ahead and get ready for that Sharlock dive at the end. So we see 66 agility here. You can definitely finish the game on 66. You definitely love more, because running from enemies in Sharlock is a task with agility this low, as we happen to see one of the premier Sharlock guards in the AK-47 on Apex's side, sending him directly back to the castle. But you will see as we level up, the stats will go from white to orange to green, and pretty much looking to find at least like all orange, and maybe even a couple greens to be ready for the end game. And the plus signs next to any stats means that that is the build that the runners have chosen with their name. Tonight we do actually see a difference: strength HP for Corvid and strength agility for Nimanva. Not really going to see that pay off too much before Sharlock. We're in the middle levels now, where it is very much not a terribly high impact yet.
And the Fun Police ruins Apex's dream yet again.
Alright, but we see Nimanva getting to Remolder. Lost half of the gold, apparently on a death. And wow, this shop is worse than Garenham. Whoo boy.
Wow, absolutely worthless.
So, yeah, now I really hope that Nimanva does not reset anymore. We have probably found the 2 towns... Okay, well, let's go into that a little bit more. Alright, so we have probably found the 2 closest towns to the castle that we will see. And we have found about 5,000 gold worth of equipment total. At some point, you really just have to accept that you did a gold grind too early, give up the money, make sure that you can at least get the gear in Garenham so you can get going, and then get on your merry way exploring, because the more times you're resetting here, especially when we see that Nimanva is taking some fights on the way, the quick, like, 1-hurt enemies, you're just banking up more and more time that you're getting behind by resetting. You're not gaining any exploration progress, you're not gaining any EXP progress. We see Apex has almost triple the EXP right now, 30 minutes in, that Nimanva has, because Nimanva's gone for a couple resets to save gold for a location that we have no clue if it even exists. All the other towns with the good gear could be several hundred or 1,000 tiles away that you're just not getting there with 34,000 gold this early. It's not like we have Hurt more and we can just trash every enemy in sight.
And Apex runs into another dead end.
Yeah, so this is very slowly looking like the map is playing out to be extremely one-directional. It seems everywhere you go, there's only one direction forward. Everything else leads to a dead end. And did Apex miss a town up in the top left corner of his screen, or has he been there before?
That would be Hawk's Nest, and he's already been there.
Are you that does... It was in the middle of a swamp. I don't think that was Hawksness.
That was Garanham then.
Okay, it might have been Garanham. It was in the swamp. I didn't see which direction he had gone from Garanham, so I wasn't sure whether that was just Garanham or a new town. And seeing where Nimanva is, probably just it was Garanham.
And it looks like Nimanva is going to be forced to reset yet again, thanks to a red dragon.
I'm really hoping we don't see a reset. These resets are just costing too much at this point. Take your Garanham gear, go. Start getting on the map. You're only getting further behind without a guaranteed place to take that gold.
Meanwhile, Apex runs into a blue dragon and is able to thankfully get away. The agility being at 66 helps all these matters out. But he won't mind killing a scorpion. I mean, it'll get him a 16 experience, and he's almost at level 9.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to note how much agility we gained from level 6 to level 8. Because at the last level, Nimanva was at about 38 agility. So almost double. It would be a lot easier to have carried all of that gold with 66 agility. Because you would have been that extra bit safer with that good run luck and everything. But we do see level 9, 1 power, 11 speed, 4 HP, 1 MP, and heal more. So finally, we have healing access, along with another level full of ones.
But the big problem is now alleviated.
Yep, 54 MP, 70 HP, and heal more. You're good to actually get a bit of exploration done. You have a higher chance of getting to that next town. Speaking of... Alright, AK-47s with baby breath. Ooh, and Apex takes a death just about 10 to 15 spaces away from a new town. Probably going to see him beeline it back for that town to just get another place checked off on the map. I don't think Hawksness is in the cards yet.
Nowhere close. Even though heal more helps, the attack power being at 65 is not ideal.
Yeah, just not enough to fight through most of the enemies that are going to be there. Even though, like, 65 attack power is pretty bad, but we also don't have the HP. We're pretty much in a spot where we would get looped into having to heal more every turn or risk death every time, so just not worth maybe doing anything besides checking the tile and see what's there. And a Kaishin no Ichigeki on apexcorvid's side to take out a very worthwhile Druid Lord right now. Very good enemy to take out at this point. 50, 60 EXP enemies are exactly what you want to be feasting on in the climb from like level 7 or 8 to about level 11.
Let's just hope Apex finds his way back to that town.
And not before being greeted by yet another Wolf Lord. As we know, Wolf Lords have the wombo combo of sleep plus big breath, and that one doesn't even bother with sleep. Just looks at Apex and goes, I can one-shot you, and does so immediately on an ambush.
It's one of those things.
That being said, this seed has been remarkably friendly so far. Not an excessive amount of Sharlock enemies on the Overworld quite yet. And the ones that we have seen haven't had anything worse than what you normally expect out of them. We saw Armor Knights even having baby breath, which is much preferable to getting smacked in the face by one. Notable though, we see a lot of these mid-EXP enemies, these Druid Lords, Rogue Scorpions, Wolf Lords, and Wolves. This seed's begging for hurt more in the next couple levels, and then we could see the EXP start rolling real quick.
Especially if Hawk's Nest or the Swamp Cave have an Axe Knight there.
For sure. Even a Green Dragon, early hurt more against a Green Dragon is definitely worthwhile. You're a little bit more than a 50-50 to land it, and you usually won't need more than one attack afterwards. But much like the Axe Knights to a lower degree, they can die to a single hurt more. So they're also pretty prime target for if we happen to get hurt more in the next couple levels. Though I don't think we've seen more than one Green Dragon so far. Plenty of Magi Wyverns, though. And that big speed gain for Nimanva coming in, so both runners above 70 agility. We will start to see, with levels being equal, Nimanva's agility get a little bit higher than Apex, but we'll see Apex's HP be a little bit higher in trade. So Nimanva looking to have just kind of sat down for a bit of a grind, giving up on the exploration after taking a long string of deaths, not even able to get past her Molder. Maybe looking to just try to grind some easy levels here on things like Wolves and look for that healing spell, which we know will actually come at the next level for him. So this might not be a terrible idea.
And looks like Apex has kind of got the same idea as well, but a little further away from home base.
And I'm just going to look something up real quick.
And a nice little dead end right there for Apex, which is not good at all.
So, something to note here is Nimanva was looking for those wolves near the start, but had casted Repel. I'm not sure if Nimanva realizes, but with 70 defense power, wolves only have 40 strength, their defense broken, they're not showing up if you repel, so might have just been switching off of grind mode and electing to get back to exploring a little bit, or might have been making a little bit of an error there, repelling and not realizing that you're actually repelling the exact enemies you want to be killing.
And it looks like he will continue to repel while going into this new area for him.
Yeah, definitely looks like a little bit more focused on exploration. Very possibly feels behind based on how some of the earlier stuff went, as we have Sharlock and Breckenary for Apex. Let's see. We got the Motel 6. They'll leave the torch on for you. Gonna go ahead and get our HP and MP back, and then will be interesting to see if Apex checks the shop. I Not sure the distance that this town was away from start, not even looking at the shop, so must be far enough away that you're not interested in gold grinding and trying to bring 20,000 gold all the way down here, and God knows where Breckenary ended up being. It looks quite far away, but we have another town, and notably is neither of these have been the one that Apex saw before getting ganked by a red dragon. So there's actually another town, and I believe we only have Cantlin and Cole left, and it's Cantlin. So if Apex remembers that other town that he got blocked by a red dragon getting to, he will know that that town is Cole. And so that might be a priority to go back and check, because that's a free search location.
But never mind that, we're going to get some coordinates.
Or we will be told to go and fight. What will it be tonight? Go and search. 2 south, 28 east. That is extremely countable. So it will be interesting to see when Apex heads back to the town to go ahead and count those coordinates, as that's... I'm gonna say in the area just above Garenham, or it might be closer to Hawksness.
And here comes the AK-47, and, well, it was about to end Frax's dreams, but managed to stay alive.
Yeah, thankfully, with them having baby breath, it's not as bad to see them. You know that you have a reasonable chance at getting an extra turn or two to run if they do just go ahead and spend their turns doing baby breath instead of punching you. But still not something you want to see, because even at 70 agility, we're easily less than 50% to run from them.
And it looks like Nimanva is actually going to follow Apex's path.
Alright, so we'll see Nimanva catch up a little bit on exploration. So definitely having reasonable time recovering the exploration disadvantage from earlier. But
and here
Apex
comes level 10.
1 power, 6 speed, 3 HP, 12 MP, but no new spell. So critically, no hurt more yet that we would love to find.
Oh, and Nimanva just found Cole.
Yep, so...
That's big.
How critical is it going to be for Apex to go back? We have the Silver Harp, so critical, yes, but not something that you necessarily want to see Apex do as soon as humanly possible. It's not like the sword or armor are hiding there. I will say, though...
But it is a key item, so
yeah.
you need to go back.
Yeah, definitely going to want... I expect that we might see Apex on the next death, which is conveniently coming up right now, courtesy of the Fun Police. Go check the coordinates, get the coordinate item, and then probably, if Apex remembers that there was a town that he got blocked away from, go back to that town because it's Cole and get your quest item, having acquired what is a very reasonable chance going to be either a quest item or the sword or armor here from the count, as we do see Apex with that classic slow walk, definitely counting the coordinates here. So just shortly we will see what the coordinates have in store. Something I do want to note, though, Apex has made fantastic usage out of hurt on select enemies, such as the Rogue Scorpion earlier. Knowing that even with a hand axe and the 66 AP we have, it's definitely going to be better to just go to town with hurt. Has done fantastic at making the most of using a good MP pool and hurt to get as much EXP as possible while you're out on the map.
Apex is almost at his destination. And he finds the fairy flute. Uh-oh. I'm worried.
Yep, so I believe we have seen 2 belts. We might have only seen 1, but we know for a fact that there are 2 search locations live. This is looking like we might have sword and maybe even armor in Sharlock. As Mountain Cave is the only thing we haven't found yet. Mountain and Freebie, actually.
So let's do a head count. 5 chests in Mountain Cave. We have 1 chest, and we have 2 other search. We have a search spot in Hawk's Nest, and we have the chest in Freebie Cave.
Yep, so we have 7 locations live needing the token and the sword and the armor. The other things in that pool are the death necklace. So we might also... The last thing you're going to want to do is search for like Hawksness and find the death necklace. That will be hopefully sirens and alarms going off in your head, because that's a pretty good indicator that more than likely something is going to be locked up in Sharlock. Notably, though, we haven't seen any caves for a very long time. So we still don't know if this is 2 continents with another continent on the other side of the swamp cave, because we haven't seen swamp yet, and we haven't found Freebie or
either the trade
Staff.
caves.
Or Staff or Jerk. So 4 caves on the large, technically 5 with both sides of swamp being counted. This is a wild bit of exploration that we have not found yet, and we've seen a lot of dead ends already.
Getting to Breckenary. There's your silver.
Yeah, but really far away, and we didn't even see shop checks in Cantlin, did we? And I believe Cantlin's closer than we saw Cantlin on Apex's side. Yeah, so all of the good equipment is...
Apex didn't care.
Yeah,
He's
Apex
not worried about
care.
the big items.
Yeah, Apex is resolved to take that large shield directly to the endgame at this point. You know that you're going to replace your weapon and your armor with the Airdrick equipment once you get it. So it's really only that silver shield, and those distances that the other towns were from the castle, not interested in trying to carry the burden of a gold grind that far away from the castle. And I'm hoping that we don't see Nimanva go back and set up another gold grind. Notable though, the only way I would be okay with seeing that is if you're doing it just before heading to Sharlock, because we do see the town is close to Sharlock, so going ahead and doing that while you're already on your way to Sharlock to pick up the silver shield on the way, not the worst decision. Doing it before that,
for Nimanva.
Yeah, doing it before that, and this looks like Nimanva is looking for the other items to gold grind for, and I don't know how much I like that. It makes me afraid that we're going to see a repeat gold grind, and we got a lot of travel to do if we're getting the money to where it needs to go this time.
Well, you could pull out the magic armor if one of the shops sells it and be okay there. Or maybe just get a broadsword.
Yeah, I personally would go with the broadsword, but it's a toss-up because you have the more expensive item available. Broadsword isn't a super massive upgrade over the hand axe, and like both are in slots that you're going to replace come the end of the game anyways, so we'll see what happens.
That is absolutely true.
Barry, great to hear that. Go ahead and check out the Discord that Moobot has posted just above you, or that will post later on if you have just joined. And yes, that is a feature of the randomizer, is that the EXP and gold values are made to be as close to the Super Nintendo remakes as can be. I believe the only difference there is Goldmen. I think in the Super Nintendo version, Goldmen are actually worth about 600 gold, but unfortunately with the bit limitations of the regular Nintendo, we cannot get past 255, so they're only set to 255, which ironically leads to them being probably the worst enemy in the entire randomizer, unfortunately. As we have a Sparko Bridge and another dead end for Apex. This map is horrid.
It is, and no verification either. Sad. Nimanva did manage to pick up the fairy flute, but it does look like Apex is going to be sent home in a pine box thanks to a red dragon.
Not yet. Not yet. We still have a couple heart mores or heal mores left. We're trying. And we are out. So 83 agility, not the worst at this point, having to run from a red dragon. You definitely don't want to do it too often, though. And with a quick check, 83 agility is just under the 90 required to get roughly a 50% run chance against the red dragon. So probably in the lower to mid 40s for that right now. So not the worst, not the best. As we see Apex get back to Cole, as I kind of expected after getting the coordinates, make your beeline right back to Cole, get your other search location, and Hawksness is probably starting to crop back up in the back of the minds of our runners. And we see Nimanva going back to grave. I do know Nimanva did not get down to the bottom of the grave. So it's either going to be a dive for the deep grave or a gold grind. And I'm really hoping it's not the latter. I'm afraid. All right. If we go down, no, we're going up. This could be dangerous. Signing up for another gold grind to get the silver shield when there's way too much left to do and it's not the safest walk. This could cost the race here. Unless this ends up being a 2.5 hour marathon, which it might be considering that we can't find any caves. We found every town, but can't find caves. The seed needs to go longer and longer for taking another gold grind risk to end up paying off.
Possibly. What I'm also thinking is maybe do some coastline surfing and just hug coastline until you're able to find some of the outstanding caves.
Yeah, it's definitely the map is weird, and this is a map that's going to be a little bit dangerous to play mental gymnastics with, because it is just full of dead ends and very little exploration progress. This is definitely something that even a line map would be absolutely wonderful to get through relatively safely. As we see, okay, Apex is just going to restock on some keys, it looks like. So will we see the play for Hawksness? 77 defense, 66 attack, only having hurt. You're gonna really want to see an Axe Knight there. So you can just chip away at him with hurt and heal more in between. But it doesn't look like we're gonna see it, so back to exploration we go, as Nimanva is gonna get the real bad news of it's just a replacement torch for the one you spent to get through the grave at the bottom, and now you have to walk all the way back out. This isn't going to feel good.
It absolutely never does.
So as we're closing in on the 1 hour mark, let's go over a brief recap of what we have seen. We know that both runners now have found every single town in the game. Huxus is near start. We have a couple towns near start, but they don't have any good equipment to make a gold grind super valuable. As far as caves go, we have the Tablet Cave underneath Garenham, as we see Apex checking now. We have the Grave of Garenham underneath the castle. All 5 chests have been excavated from the grave by both runners. And outside of that, we have not seen any other caves. So, Staff Cave is at large, both runners having the Silver Harp that was in coal to trade. Both players are missing knowledge of the Jerk Cave, or the Rainbow Drop Cave, whichever you prefer. Neither player has found Mountain, neither player has found Freebie/Stones Cave. Overworld item was close to start, both players counted it successfully and received the Fairy Flute. We do not have Hurtmore as of level 10, and we know Nimanva critically is missing Healmore at level 9. Going for another gold grind with the Silver Shield a bit of a distance away from the castle. I'd hate this a lot less if he at least had Healmore. But with the propensity we've seen of not taking encounters, because he knows the road is a little hard getting there, so he doesn't want to get EXP and then have to reset later, I really, really don't like this play out of Nimanva. I think the first one kind of blew up. The second one, this is going to feel even worse if it ends up in, like, I think if you have to reset once, this feels bad. If you reset more than once, it feels miserable. It's going to need to be a little bit of a hero run here. And we have a metal slime? What did metal slimes have? Or was Apex just extremely, extremely low? Hurt more on metal slimes. Ooh. You pretty much never want to see it because you always want to try to... Oh, sleep and hurt more. Ooh. Yikes. Alright, so metal slimes are pretty much not really on the table as good EXP targets this seed. And we see Apex elect to run away. Alright, so we're gonna see Nim probably heal at just about every town on the way, as he is crucially like 100 EXP away from Healmore. And level 11 on Apex's side, didn't see the stats, but we have Sleep, Radiant, Outside, and Hurt More. So this seed just became a buffet. There are so many good Hurt More targets on the Overworld. We can definitely expect to see Apex's EXP lean absolutely balloon here. And what'll be big for Apex now will be how quickly does he go back to Hawksness. With Sleep and Hurt More, a lot more enemies become relatively within range of taking those fights. And another dead end.
And Nimanva almost had it.
I don't know that Nimanva knows about metal slimes having the Sleep Hurt More combo. And that could prove to be kind of dangerous on this walk. Okay, well, he knows now, so... I like this. I like seeing Nimanva taking these lowish EXP enemies like Drakimas, because we know, with the knowledge from both runners, that Heal More is coming in like 50 EXP, and that will make his life so much easier trying to get that gold down to where it needs to get to. And another Metal Slime death for Apex. So, Metal Slime's getting a little bit of vengeance and showing they're not as scared as the flags might make them out to be this seed. Alright, well, Nimanva got the gold grind for Flame Sword and Silver Shield money. I don't recall seeing him check the shop here the first time, but there is Flame Sword, so Flame Sword is a pretty nice upgrade over the Hand Axe. Not really gonna put our attack power in any crazy breakpoints where there's like a ton of enemies that we want to be fighting. I definitely still take Hurt More over the Flame Sword. And Randomania with the raid. Welcome from the other race, everyone. We have quite a doozy on our hands. This is the seed where all of the caves are hiding, as the only caves we have found are Tablet and Grave, and we are at the just over 1 hour mark. We had Late Heal More at level 9, we have Hurt More at level 11, which is definitely contributing to the ballooning EXP lead for Apex. Partially due to Hurt More, and partially due to Nimanva going back for a second gold grind from the grave. Looking to get that money down to Breckenary, where he has seen a silver shield. We have Wombo Combo Wolflords, Metal Slimes with Sleep and Hurt More. So, enemies kind of nasty, but not a terribly large amount of Sherlock enemies on the Overworld, which is kind of refreshing for once. And the only ability that I believe we've seen on a Sherlock enemy is Baby Breath on the AK-47. So, a positive outcome.
I kind of want to imagine that all of the caves are going to be lumped together. I have a sad feeling that's going to be the case.
And we see, yeah, we saw and we have, I believe that this means this has to be Mountain Cave, correct? Because that should be, oh no, it could be Mountain or Swamp on Apex's side.
Mountain or Swamp. And we will not be giving any spoilers to the match that was taking place in the other area. So if you want to do check that out, you can watch the bot that is up on Randomania.
And we saw Nimanva go for a deep pause there on that Red Dragon death. Got the Flame Sword, debated on whether it wanted to reset.
Looks like
Apex found
right.
Swamp. Yep, Apex found Swamp. Swamp immediately leading to Staff Cave, which we already have the Harp. So, pretty nice find to pick up right away. But, yep, you are more than likely correct. We could probably expect to see every single cave on this second continent.
So, here's what I'm thinking. You have 6 chests before anything in Sherlock. 7 if you count the search spot in Hawk's Nest. We know Token has to be in one of those 7 spots.
Yep.
And there's another cave.
Freebie
that
Cave.
Is Freebie Cave.
What do we got? The sword, the big stick. All right, so that knocks one item out of the Hawksness pool. Notably, the search locations, Overworld, Coal, and Hawksness can only have the 7 unique items in them, with those being the stones, the token, the harp, the sword, the armor, the fairy flute, and the death necklace. And there's the other 2 caves. So this is for sure Mountain, and the other one is for sure Jerk Cave. So yeah, the token has to be outside Sharlock, so we more than likely expect it to be here. It could be a wild troll though, and actually be under Hawksness, with the armor potentially being inside Sharlock. We know Hawksness has to be either the token, the armor, or the death necklace at this point, as we found all of the other items. Could also be empty though, and there's the token right away.
There's the token. All right, so gotta hope the armor is here or underneath the spot in Hawksness. What has happened to Nimanva?
Oh, Nimanva is having some IRL health issues and has elected to forfeit the race.
Ooh. Then yeah.
Yeah, you never ever want to see this happen. It's extremely unfortunate.
So we do hope he gets better soon. And we will see Nimanva again, whether it be still in the tournament or on a weekly or even in Discord. And everybody just send him your well wishes. And I guess what we're gonna do now is just root for Apex to finish this one off.
Yep, does look like Apex is going to push forward and make sure to take that Dragon Lord out for his pesky deeds. We did see the Death Necklace in the mountain cave here. So we are down to either armor in Hawksness or armor in Sharlock. And conveniently, the token was right next to the Jerk Cave, so able to get to the second continent, immediately trade your harp for the staff, find the token in the last cave, where it pretty much has to be, and then get the rainbow drop instantly. So now it's just a matter of, are we going to have to see a trip into Sharlock to get the armor, and then the grind, followed by the ultimate dive for the Dragon Lord, or are we going to see Apex check Hawksness first? Definitely probability is in favor of Sharlock here. 1 versus 7.
No, you absolutely check Hawksness because you need stats.
Yeah, having played a practice seed where armor was in Sharlock, it's definitively my least favorite feature that has ever been added to this randomizer. Armor in Hawksness is just miserable to deal with. Bobski, Nim did not freeze. Nim has had IRL health issues and has elected to forfeit the race. So, leaving it on this screen is, maybe a bit of irony, but we nevertheless send Nim all of the well wishes. And Kingalis mentioning that there was a belt in Mountain Cave, which kind of points to we might have actually had 3 belts, meaning that there's something for sure. If you've seen 3 belts, you know that this tile has something. And if this tile has anything, we know it's the armor. So we're going to look for some Fairy Flute action, beat up this Golem, heal more if it decks you like it absolutely opened up with on the first turn. Wake up there. And we're going to hope... it just does not want to stay asleep for Apex.
No, but at least you have the Fairy Flute, so you can be okay.
Yeah, but you're gonna need the... Alright, well, there's a little bit of fortune there. I might have actually taken a swing, but I suppose putting it to sleep and then swinging is also the same. But yeah, we definitely need the Golem to stay down for a couple turns, and thankfully, Apex opened with a nice crit, and we do in fact have the armor in Hawksness, so apparently there were all 3 cursed belts found during the duration of the seed. That's notable. Every cursed belt you find in a chest means that one of these search locations is live and has one of those 7 unique items. So if you ever find all 3, you know you have to look at all of them. Yes, Smashy, if that tile had anything, it had armor. I just wasn't sure whether we had found all 3 belts or whether we only found 2 belts. Because 2 belts could have meant that it was open. And it was just empty and something was in Sharlock. But 3 belts would have meant absolutely there was an item on that tile. And we did deduce that it had to be armor at that point.
So now the question remains, not worth it to grind Golems. You don't have the HP for it. You just grind first floor Sharlock, and you have a Breckenary just right there.
I mean, that's definitely a valid option. We didn't see the Swamp Spike checked. I also did not manage to keep track of if it's even remotely close to a town. As
And,
we saw all the caves
alert,
are just
it's
all
not.
over. Yeah. So Swamp Spike, not terribly good. I mean, even top floor of Hawksness could be bad. We really don't know. We haven't seen Star Wyverns yet. We've maybe seen 1 werewolf. Red Dragons look vanilla. Armor Knights have baby breath. Really hard to tell where to grind. Our stats aren't wonderful, but like we're actually close to the Golems not being awful. You definitely want a little bit more health and preferably a little bit more attack power, but having the flute and Golems, not really the worst. As it seems like Apex maybe forgot a little bit where Breckenary and Sharlock are. And we are currently standing by. Nimanva may actually join us in the booth here for a brief moment. We are just looking to confirm if it will or will not happen. As we see the next level up on Apex's side, and it's pretty meager gains across the board. So nothing too terribly great to write home about. That being said, we are only at level 12. Most seeds are looking at about 16 or 17 to finish. We have had quite a number go past 16 or 17, and we are, in fact, joined by Nimanva. GG, well wishes to you. We hope you get better. Alright, I believe we're joined by Nimanva now. Having a little bit of Discord issue at the moment. Alright, so we are joined by Nim. I think your mic might be muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you are live and clear. Again, GG's. We hope that you make a speedy recovery and the best of wishes to you.
I appreciate that. My vertigo is just so bad that I was having trouble remembering which directions I had been in. My map just looks horrible.
Definitely cannot fault you for that. This map is a work of art. The question is what kind of art that is. This has definitely been a rough exploration seed for both of you.
Yeah, I was not feeling well to start with, and then I decided, I'm not feeling well, I'm probably not going to do well, so I tried the gold grind early to hope that I could find a town with items and get ahead that way, and it just was horrible.
Yeah, there was just nothing was even remotely close to Tentagel for that gold grind, which definitely made it really risky. And oh god. Alright, on Apex's side, we see the other spike tile, and it's another golem. So both spike tiles not looking too great. We might see first floor Sherlock as the grind. Yeah, so we saw you go for the early gold grind without knowledge of any town. You actually ended up going grave before Apex. And so Apex had found Rimmildar and Garenham before you. And you had dove grave before him, went for the gold grind, and it went interestingly. You had a little bit of difficulty trying to keep the gold. You found no valuable equipment in the first two towns, like nothing. Like Garenham was meager, and then somehow Rimmildar managed to be worse. Did you feel behind it all after resetting for that gold grind a couple times, and then finally finding a shop and going, oh, there's like nothing here?
Oh yeah, I felt way behind when I got to the first two shops, and the best thing I found was full plate armor.
Yeah, and then we saw you go back for the second grind, and it hurt a little bit because you were less than 100 EXP away from your next level, which was hiding heal more, which would have made the run with the money a lot safer. Just having access to any kind of healing, which was the big kind of gate this seed is heal more at 9 and then hurt more at 11. So not a great amount of explorational power for quite a while there.
If I had been thinking correctly, I would have just grinded on those wolves early on and leveled there.
Yeah, you both were making fantastic use of the early hurt spell to get EXP. And I do believe we have Sigma Fan preparing to sign off, and we are being joined by Schnicky the Lost.
The community here is just, I'm just super tired, and the community here is just awful. So thankfully, Schnicky's going to fill in for me for the rest of this run. Good luck to Apex and Nimanva. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, I hope both of you start feeling better soon, guys. But no, this summer, ooh boy, this summer. So
yeah, this summer has been pretty bad, no matter where you are so far.
Yeah, where I'm at, this humidity's been over 80% for the last week.
Being a Texan, I'm kind of used to that down here, so.
But yeah, so what was notable, you pretty much found just about everything on the first continent, Nim. You missed one sneaky little cave, which happened to be swamp and led to a second continent that was not terribly large and had literally every other cave on it, aside of the two that were underneath the two towns. So everything else was pretty much buried over there. Token, Harp Cave, Jerk Cave, and Sword. And then the armor was hidden under a Charlotte, or under a Hawksness Golem. So you found basically everything that was to find on that first continent.
Ooh, okay. apexcorvid doing a great job picking up some XP on these Axe Knights. Just picked up another huge level. Look at those HP gains.
Yep, we have started to find where all of the stats have been hidden for the entire seed. And it looks to be between 13 and 16, probably. So now we see green numbers, which means you're A-okay for the Dragon Lord. 88 defense is just above that 86 that you really want to ensure that Dragon Lord 2 cannot hit you with a physical attack for more damage than he can fire breath you. 97 agility is absolutely beautiful for running in Charlock, and 104 HP is not inside the Death Necklace minimum of 129 or higher, but is definitely enough to actually handle the fight itself if you elect to forego the Death Necklace, which, with our low strength, this might end up shaping up to be a Death Necklace seed.
Entirely possible. I mean, right now he's only got 10 heal mores in the tank. If you had enough attack power, you can make do with that. But with both the strength and the magic still not quite where you'd want to be, we're definitely looking at a few more levels yet before we make a final decision one way or the other on that.
Yeah, 10 heal mores, you're going to need upwards of 130 to 140 attack power to make that work. So no matter what, we're going to see at least 14. Don't be surprised if we see bad gains at like 14 and 15 and then another spike at 16. It's pretty rare for seeds to go lower than 16. The occasional 15 will be included, but more often than not, 16 and 17 is the go mode button that we're looking for. However, difficulty is there's no good grind available this seed. Maybe first floor of Sherlock, don't know if we saw that checked. Wherever Apex is now looks to have a decent amount of Axe Knights, and that's probably the best we're going to get.
Yeah, in fact, I think Apex is just pacing back and forth, grinding on these Axe Knights, and I really can't blame him. With Hurtmore in his back pocket, Axe Knights are a great grind for him, being able to potentially take them down in one shot with that.
Yeah, it's just the only question is how close to a town are we, as we only have 2 Hurtmores left. I'm not even sure what cave he's in, because I think he cast Radiant inside Swamp to check the tile. So I don't think we're in Swamp, unless we doubled back in after leaving it.
Unfortunately, I didn't catch that before I joined, so... Oh, he was actually in Charlock, probably on the next to last level, actually.
Okay, so we are somewhere We were somewhere in the dark in Sharlock, which means at least we're close to Breckenary, which is good. Fast access to the Motel 6, get your HP MP back, especially when it's looking like the grind of choice is random encounter Axe Knights. And on that note, defense power of 88, we are breaking Green Dragons, Star Wyverns, Werewolves, and Wizards, meaning Repel will hide them. So it could actually be a pretty reasonable chance. We didn't see much of anything else on that floor that he was on, besides Axe Knights. He might be repelling 3 or 4 other enemies on that floor and be guaranteed to see nothing but Axe Knights, which makes that strategy even better.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with Breckenary being right there. It's about as close to a trap tile grind as you are likely to find, given the, shall we say, undesirability of the 2 trap tiles.
Yeah, I feel like our HP would be good for grinding golems. It's the AP that's a little low. Golems are a sneaky grind. So, if you can get through them without too much difficulty, or if they have, especially if they have weak abilities, but these golems don't look like they do, they are actually a remarkably good grind. But, yeah, our AP is a little too low to make the fight terribly comfortable.
And I'll be perfectly honest, if you are at the point where you're able to be comfortable grinding golems, you're probably in go mode.
Yeah, or you're probably within like a level of it. I ended up going back and grinding a level off of golems in my race last week because I thought that the race that I was in was a little edge case for the level I was on, so I elected to get that 1 extra. And we do see the AK-47, as witnessed earlier. It has baby breath. Looks like a reasonable chance. Maybe 50, maybe 25. We'll see how much. Looks like he might be going down 1 more floor, so you might have been right. We might have been in the middle of Sharlock, grinding on the Axe Knights earlier. I like the strategy here. Attack first, fish for a crit, then cast Hurt More. Ends up skipping what might be a bad run of the AK having Heal More, which you'll only see below 25%. We have level 14.
There's the strength. 15 strength.
15 strength, 6 agility, 1 HP, 5 MP. So, got another heal more. So we now have 11 heal mores, but we're still a little bit lacking on the attack power.
Yeah, and with an HP of only 105, it would be, shall we say, exceedingly risky to try that strat.
I'm pretty sure this is just a 0% for the Dragon Lord. We got Flute, Rainbow Drop. So, figuring 4 or 5 Fairy Waters at 12 apiece, and then we're attacking for 4 to 8. I don't think we're cutting it there, Chief. That Matt, don't check out. So this agility makes many other runners very jealous. And we would have seen some crazy agility from Nimanva with the plus Agi build. We would have been looking at about 113 agility at level 14 for Nim. 96 defense, which would actually defense break Axe Knights.
Where do Axe Knights defense break?
94.
94. He's actually getting close to this. He could actually mess up his strat if he gets more agility on this next level and ends up defense breaking the Axe Knights. It's actually going to be harder for him to do this Axe Knight grind because he'll be repelling them at that point.
Very true. And I do believe, I think that there's a rounding issue with Axe Knights and they're actually broken at 95 instead of 94, but they have 94 strength. So it's either 94 or 95 that will break them. I remember there's a couple late game enemies that have really weird rounding issues with repel and defense breaking. But yeah, as you said, if we see on like 10 agility level, then suddenly repel's no good. Now granted, we didn't see anything else on that floor, so if it's just full of Star Wyverns and Wizards and stuff, you'll take those too. They're a little less efficient than the Axe Knights, but you can just punch everything else down without spending MP mostly. So won't really be too bad of a situation to have to deal with.
I like this Fairy Flute opener. If you get 4 or 5 turns and you get a free fight, great. If you only get 1 or 2 turns, you haven't really lost a whole lot of time. Looks like he is going to redo the Fairy Flute there.
Yeah, the question is, are you committing to killing the golem, which it looks like he is.
One.
Yeah. The issue there is if it doesn't actually stay asleep, then it's costing you at least 1 heal more per fight because they hit really hard. If it stays asleep the whole time, it's a great fight to take. The question is whether you want to just Fairy Flute run and just get down to the other monsters that you want to be fighting.
That's also a very valid point. I mean, they are worth 255 experience points, but if they drain your resources that fast, is that really worth having to go all the way back down here again?
So we're pretty much just looking for real big strength or really big HP. Again, Death Necklace could come into play. You need a minimum of 129 HP before you put the Death Necklace on to maintain a max HP of 97 after you get the curse. The Death Necklace in the randomizer, again, being a trade-off of becoming cursed, losing 1/4 of your maximum HP. In return, you gain 10 attack power. Right now, 10 is right around what we need to start actually thinking about the Dragon Lord. So if we were to only get a couple attack power, but we got 24 HP on the next level up, then we could actually start looking at Death Necklace calculations and deciding whether that is the correct strategy. You want to stay at 97 HP, though, because you want to ensure 2 maximum fire breaths do not kill you.
Exactly. So we're looking for big HP or big attack power, along with at least some MP. I'd like to see at least 7 more MP for another heal more in the tank, just to be careful. But yeah, that's really what we're looking for.
And we are heading out again for another heal. Not even sure Apex made it down to the floor that he was grinding on the first time, because we saw a remarkable lack of Axe Knights, and that really kind of brings up the question, right? He's killing a lot of golems while trying to get to Axe Knights. If you are so willing to actually commit for the golem kills, why are you not just on a golem spike tile? Where you're guaranteeing that you have an efficient rate of encounter, rather than possibly going a few steps upwards of sometimes 20, 30 steps between encounters. It would just be time efficient at that point to be on the spike tile if you're so willing to fight the golems.
I think it's more of a case of I'll take it if it comes up, but I'm really preferring something else. And so if it shows up, okay, fine, but he's really hoping for those Axe Knights.
And here we see a Heartmore thrown out at a Star Wyvern, so Looks like maybe has elected to drop the repel, seeing that he's hiding too many of Sherlock monsters that are just really easy XP. And if you're just kind of grinding on random encounters in Sherlock, I kind of want werewolves, wizards, and star wyverns to show up. I don't want them hidden by repel.
Yeah, I think he's realized that the repel was hurting him more than it was helping him, because while the Axe Knights were awesome on that one floor that he was just running into Axe Knights, when the golems and the AKs start coming out and adding into that, it gets a lot less efficient a lot quickly.
And even Stonemen. Stonemen notably one of the worst endgame enemies for as far as actual EXP efficiency is concerned. And at this point, you'd be looking to cast Sleep on a Stoneman and then beat it up. All right, so 15, 4 power, 5 speed, 0 HP, 9 MP. 16, here we come.
Not exactly the level we were hoping for, unfortunately.
Yeah, only a couple more HP and only a couple more attack power. Another heal more. That's good. But
Yeah.
we're still only dealing with 12 heal mores and a 5 to 10 attack range with, 4 or 5 fairy waters. I'm not exactly sure how close we are to, or how much we have clutter in our inventory. We have the death necklace, we have the flute, we have the rainbow drop, that's 3, keys is 4, herbs are 5. I believe, is it a max of 8 or 10 items in the inventory? So if it's 8, you get 3 fairy waters. If it's 10, you get 5. I don't think that's enough to push the fight over the edge. Coupled with the encounter luck that we've seen on the way down, there's a non-zero chance you're not getting down with full heal mores. You might lose 1. So definitely like taking level 16 here. Maybe this, knowing that you're going for 16, maybe you push down to the treasury and you see if you can dig up the fighter's ring. As we know, it's either in the treasury or the judge's table vanilla sword chest. That might be worth it. So that way you at least know if you have the extra 2 AP come the actual fight and when you're ready to dive. You know you're committing resources on this dive for grinding anyhow, so why not get to the treasury and look for the fighter's ring? And it does look roughly like that might be what Apex is doing here. As we don't really see what we saw the first time where he's just kind of walking back and forth on the same floor. Looks to be like... well, actually, maybe not. Might just be wandering on whatever floor we're on now. Mr. Spokes, yes, Nim did forfeit due to IRL health issues. And one thing we can definitely agree on, this Sherlock sucks. There is just all kinds of just crap you don't want to be fighting right now on the way down. Lots of stonemen, lots of golems. What's actually kind of interesting, with a agility gain of 12, we'll actually have enough defense points to break blue dragons and stonemen, which will at least make the final dive a little easier. And it's quite a rarity to actually break and repel stonemen.
Absolutely. That would be the only thing you'd really be running into are the AKs and the red dragons. And the golems, of course.
Yep, just 3 enemies left. And none that you really want to fight again, though.
Yeah.
But we have gotten to the bottom. I expect to see more than likely both a treasury check here for the fighter's ring and a spike tile check. you would love nothing more than to see like an Axe Knight on the spike tile here. It would be absolutely beautiful. You got your fighter's ring, just dump the rest of your MP on Hurt Mooring the Axe Knight, leave yourself just enough to cast outside, get out here, refill, and then probably thinking you might try a dive and grind, get 16 on the way down, hope it's just big HP or big attack, and that you'll have enough MP to get the rest of the way down and take out the Dragon Lord at 16.
Yeah, definitely gotta be checking for that ring. 2 attack points may not sound like much, but when you're doing your Dragon Lord calculations, 2 attack power can be a lot of difference in the right circumstances.
Yeah, on average, the 2 attack power will equal 0.75 average damage per swing because of the way the damage calculations work. Even though, for instance, with 121 attack power, your damage range is 5 to 10. However, because you're not exactly on the literal threshold, it does mean that you will have a very slightly lower chance of rolling low, and your average will be a little higher the further you get away from certain breakpoints. So those 2 attack power actually do a lot more for you than they might look like they do on face value because of the way the damage values are rolled within the range, and the fact that it will also bump up how frequently you are rolling away from your low end, which ends up helping more in the long run of a fight. And there we actually see the third curse belt. So that was something that I wasn't 100% certain on earlier when we saw Apex go to Hawksness and check there. We had seen 2 curse belts. I hadn't seen the third, so it was a gamble whether you wanted to just take the Hawksness encounter and check there, or whether you wanted to take the numerical probability that the armor would have been in Sharlock. In this case, it paid off checking, as we now see the third curse belt, marking the third search location live, was actually hidden in the treasury here, along with the fighter's ring.
Well, he is rounding the corners, probably going to check this trap tile just because, like you said, if it's an Axe Knight or, I'd even take a Green Dragon. That would not be a bad grind either.
Oh no, you'd absolutely take a Green Dragon right now. You are 100% defense-breaking Green Dragons. Again, we saw that level up, the agility right on that edge there. We have the 94 defense points. Again, if the rounding issue is actually in breaking an Axe Knight, then we are not defense breaking them quite yet. We need 1 more defense for that. If we aren't, then we're actually defense breaking Axe Knights, and you don't really care which one you see. You'll go to Pound Town on either of them.
Oh yeah, I mean the only thing I really wouldn't take on a trap tile like that would be the golem.
And what a poetic end it would be if the golem's hiding on the third one.
Yep.
Oh my god, there it is. So all 3 spike tiles are golems with no substantial abilities. If you wanted to actually spike tile grind anywhere this seed, well, too bad. Go find some random encounters. They're going to be more time efficient than any of the spike tiles will be. Notably, though, we are actually pretty much at the stats where a golem spike tile, not the worst. We've got enough HP and we've got enough AP and HP to kind of hack through them.
I mean, I honestly would be surprised if for this last level, once he casts outside here, he actually goes to another one of those spike tiles, just because at this point at 123 attack power, you're doing enough to the golems. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, very true. This is actually kind of dicey. Going for the Metal Slime kill.
The Metal Slime has sleep and hurt more?
Yeah. Does he forget that it's got sleep more? I would. Oh, well,
Excellent
he gets
move.
the
He
crit,
got
so
the
there's
crit
your
and
free
the kill.
255. So that's one less golem. So yeah, I would definitely, with only 2 golems to go for 16. If Swamp Cave was close, I'd definitely be hitting up those golems instead. Unless there's some Sherlock enemies on like a desert tile in the overworld real close, then I might just go for those instead.
Did he just blow a heal more by casting Repel?
He's really close. Okay, yep. Is this where Swamp Cave was hiding? Okay, no, he's just gonna actually go to the desert here. So maybe he remembers some nice EXP enemies being around. And nope, decides enough with that. I would like to see. I don't.
Okay, he's not gonna try to do the grind and dive thing. He's just trying to get the next level, see where he is, and then either escape out and
Heal up.
and go down, or just keep grinding if the stats still aren't there. Which, with this seed, keep your options open.
Yep. If you weren't fully aware, you might even think that this was a Math Girl seed, but in fact, it is not tonight. We have, I believe, Lord of the Synth to thank for this one.
You know, I actually had Math Girl helping me out, teaching me the ropes on how to do restreams the other day. She even taught me how to roll seeds.
Oh no. Not another one. It must not spread. Yeah, we have Lord of the Synth to thank for this one. So yeah, I feel like I would have stayed right near the entrance of Sherlock, got my 16, checked the stats before going down into Sherlock. Just feels weird to have to expend more MP going further in. But I don't know. We're so close to 16. And this Stone Man will be enough. Level 16, here we go. Big bucks, no
19
enemies.
attack power and 10 hit points. There's your go level. Absolutely.
And 10 MP.
And 10 more MP. That's another heal more in the tank. We are definitely in go mode now. Just go over, top off in Breckenary. We can do this now. It's almost assuming he doesn't blow too many resources on the way down, there's almost no way he can't. Wait, where is he going?
Yeah, where? What?
Where dude?
Where
dude,
is he?
dude,
That's
dude,
not.
dude,
That's not Breckenary.
You've already passed the 6 gold in. It doesn't get any cheaper than that. What are you doing?
He's
Going after this golem?
okay. So unless our stat tracker is horribly out of sync here with the seed, I'm looking at 115 HP, 13 heal mores, and a 10 to 21 damage range.
Is he wanting to just do a swag
yeah.
princess?
Are we doing Swag 3's company? Yep. Okay.
Yup.
But he's giving the people a little bit of a show. We're getting Swag 3's company here. I fully do not expect that this princess is going back to the castle until after the Dragon Lord is down.
I mean, at this point, why not?
Okay. Yeah, he's the dog sprite, so it's the princess riding the dog. Okay. Yep. I'm more okay with this, even more so now. I forgot about that interaction with the sprite.
Yep, Tove. Good doggo from Dragon Quest 4.
So yeah, 108 MP is actually 4 higher than needed for the 13 heal more, so that's actually 2 repels for the way down, which I really like. And notably, we got that 95 defense now. Axe Knights might be broken. This might be a pretty peaceful dive through Sherlock.
Yep.
And we don't need any of that fairy water. We got more than enough attack power to punch the Dragon Lord.
I'd pick up a fairy water just for the repel effect, just to save the MP in case I needed to toss out a stop spell or something on the way down.
I actually think he has one fairy water in the inventory already.
Oh, yes,
Yep.
he does.
Yeah, he's got one. He just didn't stock up because you don't need him for the actual fight here. And he's going to start with the fairy water. He has a torch, so he doesn't need the radiant either. Though we saw pretty comfortable darkroom navigation from Apex going all the way down to the treasury in the dark, so doesn't even really need the torch either.
Probably will, just to show off the sprite of the princess riding doggo.
Yeah, that's a-okay. And, we see this top floor might be the worst that Sherlock has to offer, because this is Armored Knights, Blue Dragons, and Stonemen. Ironically, most of the enemies in Sherlock we can't defense break and repel right now. So, getting past these first couple floors is what's going to suck, and then after that, it's probably going to be smooth sailing. Because that's where we saw all the Axe Knights and not much of anything else, so it probably was already repelled at that point.
But yeah, assuming he can go down there without spending too many resources, it's pretty much a free fight. This golem may try to burn some, though.
Well, he didn't recast Repel, so he's actually saving the MP, I think, for a one-off heal as well. And I really like this. If golems are going to be as much of a pain as they seem like they are, just Fairy Flute and run.
Yeah, absolutely. He tried to run a couple of times with an agility of 111. It says here in fine print you should be good to try and run. A little bit better than a coin flip, but of course,
That's a little bit more than a little bit better than a coin flip, good sir. Golems, notably, are not in that Sherlock class of run blockers. They are actually in Group 2. So they have a heavy penalty to their agility for the run calculation. So a 46 agility is usually good for a 75% run chance. Meaning 111, yeah, you shouldn't really have any difficulty, but if you got the Fairy Flute, why not? Just put him to sleep and guaranteed run.
Yeah, that has not been my experience personally, but I mean, that's what the math says, but what the math says and what the seed says are occasionally two different things.
Yeah, sometimes I question how the fun police never actually pull me over in a seed when I have like 40 agility. I don't know. That's just Dragon Warrior Randomizer for you. And we are back on the Dragon Lord's floor. Gwaelin riding her mighty steed to battle. Gwaelin's actually going to be fighting the Dragon Lord, not the dog. The dog is just going to be there for moral support.
Just get back here!
Gwaelin got sick of Erdrick's descendant just like not showing up and leaving her in a castle to cook for whatever manner of monsters wanted to guard her that day. So she decided to call out for her mighty steed, Tove, and go fight the Dragon Lord herself.
I mean, you gotta love the self-rescuing princess.
Yeah, sometimes you just get sick of heroes leaving you in a cave all day to cook for random monsters. So, can't blame her. And we see the golem very carefully dispatched of with sleep strats there, courtesy of your Fairy Flute. Will we see it? Thou art a fool, and the battle will commence. Now, as we have hinted at before, with this MP, HP, and 142 attack power, this is all but free. So, barring a miss menu, I do not expect this fight to go bottoms up. And honestly, it's almost not even going to be worth counting. But we will, because why not? That's what we do here in Dragon Warrior Randomizer. So we start with a very solid 13. Actually on the low end, though. 27. These are below average rolls, nonetheless, to start. So not what you want to see when you have a range this good. There's a 17. Now we're up to, 27 to 44. Forgot to actually pay attention for a second. 55. So about average through 4 swings. 70. 88. Looking pretty good here. I think even got a double there. Yeah, this is practically the definition of free. 88, 98, 105. We got plenty of MP left. This is free barring a miss menu.
Which can still happen. Accidentally casting a hurt more instead of a heal more. I've done it more than once.
122. Yep. It is the reason why I take an extra like half second on every input during a Dragon Lord fight. I believe we're at 140 now. So there's a reasonable chance that it's dead on the next swing here. Yep, 152. So very low HP for the Dragon Lord, and GG to Apex.
Absolutely. Break out your GGs. Apexcorvid has defeated the Dragon Lord and is bringing the princess back.
Even snaking through the useless guards of Tantagel. Okay, I wasn't actually sure how this worked. I wasn't sure if Gwaylin would cut in or not here. And Apex has finished. Oh, there we go. Couldn't see the time. With an official SRL time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 11 seconds.
Kind of turned into a bit of slog on this one, especially towards the end. We had a lot of dead levels, but hey, any win you can walk away from, right?
Yeah, the C definitely got its fair share of trolling in, as we are now joined by the winner tonight, Apexcorvid. Congratulations and GG to you.
You do seem to be muted.
Indeed.
I think Discord will mute you if you don't have push to talk on.
I see it lighting up, but I do not hear. So possible that you physically muted your mic as well?
Sure did.
All right. Well, GG to you, sir. That was definitely a seed, hiding all of the caves on the second continent. How did it feel to get through that one?
It felt pretty good. The exploration was a little off. For some reason, I just didn't see that cave sitting right by the big old swamp. Just looked past it. Maybe I was that excited for Breckenry.
Oh, that was Swamp Cave. I thought that was a different cave. Holy crap. All right. Yeah, because Swamp was the one thing evading both of you through the entire part of the early portion of this race. You quickly found every single town, almost nothing of value, and were looking for all of the caves. So it was pretty logical that it was cave locked on the second continent, which indeed ended up being the case, as you found a very fast second continent that checked all of the boxes off.
I tell you, that was lovely after having all the fun police early on. And yeah, I walked right by that cave. I just didn't see it next to the swamp. But once we got there, it was just ticking boxes and moved on.
Yeah, and no heal more until 9, no hurt more until 11. So definitely a slow start to a seed, especially when you had to take, 12, 14 damage getting away from the castle with just no healing, and Garenham locked up in a swamp too. Thankfully, not too many Sharlock enemies on the overworld. Probably the one singular saving grace to this map.
Well, that, and there wasn't a lot of bad breath or wombo either. So usually, most of the deaths were honorable, I guess you could say. I had a chain where I had like 3 really long runs, and then I got clobbered by a red dragon. But outside of that, I mean, it was a fun run, and that's really all you can ask for.
And something we saw a little bit difference between you and Nim. Nim went for a gold grind a little early before finding any towns to spend it on. And by the time you had found any of the towns that had the value, you weren't even interested in checking shops. You were okay with your hand axe and your full plate all the way up until you got your Erdrick armor. So what was a little bit of the thought process there?
Well, to be honest, the time I'd have to spend to grind for that magic armor or flame sword or what have you, a good level would make that difference and might even be a little faster by the time you get all the walking done. With the full plate, really, the defense is the same. You just don't get that nerf to the hurt spells, and you don't get the heal walk, but you need Erdricks to finish anyway, so might as well just push through.
Very fair, and it was gonna be a hell of a walk to get a silver shield anyways, regardless, so definitely ended up being absolutely the right call. The other thing to get your thought process on was the grind. So you were level 12, I think, when you actually had every required item, and so you needed to get a few levels, and we saw Golem and Hawk's Nest, not the best, and then we check Swamp, and it's a Golem, and then we eventually get down to the bottom of Sharlock, and it's another Golem. So what was going through your mind as far as where to get that XP in order to get your levels to finish the game?
I got a pretty good laugh when I stepped on that Sharlock tile. It was golems across the board. Really, I was just looking for somewhere where I could have dwell time and knock enemies out. Those stone men, I didn't have the strength until that last level. Every level I would try it, it just didn't work out. Golems, blowing that flute is like 8 seconds or something like that. So that's just adding to the time. Pinwheel room, there were a bunch of axe knights early on, and then I just could not get one to nibble. So blue dragons finished it off.
Yeah, and at the end, you were actually at the defense power to repel axe knights. So we were actually we saw that early on when you were just getting nothing but axe knights, and we pretty much figured the rest of that floor was probably the Star Wyverns, Wizards, and Werewolves that you were already defense breaking. And it would have been curious if you had gone back there but left repel off to have those extra encounters to just hack through, because those 3 at that point were pretty much free to take just by attacking with the sword. But you elected to just pick on the slightly stronger enemies to get your levels instead. Works nonetheless.
To be honest, that defense level kind of snuck up on me. I didn't realize how high I was until I checked for the final dive. That was definitely a mistake that the newer runner would make, but that's something I'm going to keep an eye on now. And it was funny to see the Dragon Lord hit me for 3. I mean, just out of motor memory, I went to an herb. It's like, why did I do that? He only hit me for 3. I could have ended it.
Yeah, your defense was absolutely insane, and it would have been even crazier if Nim had finished. It was looking like he was going for at least Silver Shield and was on Strength Agility. So we would have had another 5 defense from the Agility and another 10 from the Large Shield. 110 breaking everything in the game that's not named Golem would have been just absolutely insane to see. Definitely a sight you don't get very often.
No, I mean, this is the most I've had in any of my playthroughs, so you add another 15 on that. That's just nuts.
And we're going ahead on the display here and cranking Nim's stats up to 16. And what do we have? Wow. So would have had the 140, 142 if the ring's involved. Yeah, so 121 agility, which would have been insane for running through. 140 AP, same as you. If actually went for the Silver Shield grind, we would have seen absolutely ballistic defense, just something, the stuff of legend that you just simply don't see almost ever in the randomizer.
Shoot, I almost get scared when I'm doing one of these runs and it gets too easy, you know? Feels like I'm lagging behind if I'm just burning through things at the end. But that would have been awesome, having a silver shield for that. And then that last level was absolutely necessary. I mean, I had 2 big problem spots there, and it hit them for double digits. So I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, pretty much looking at 15 to 16, even with Nim's higher agility and maybe having the silver shield, I still don't think I would take that at 15 at all. Just, you got so much power at 16. Definitely made it go from what would have been an edge case fight to basically an absolutely free fight.
Yeah, it's nice when the game gives you a green light like that so that you know it's time to go.
Absolutely. All right, so with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap this one up, put this one in the books. Apex coming out victorious over Nimanva. Again, Nimanva forfeiting with some real-life health issues. We wish him the absolute best. Also, Sigma Fan, who started out as my co-commentator for the evening, also having some real-life health issues with the crappy humidity that's been all over, just making people feel like absolute misery. Wish them the best as well, having signed off to get Sneaky the Lost in the booth with me. So, yep, any closing thoughts for the run as we are getting ready to raid Speed Gaming?
No, not really. I hope everyone's feeling better. Thank you to everyone for turning out and putting this on. It's a good show. I love watching these races. I'm looking forward actually to watching the race you're about to raid. So thanks again, and let's get to the next one.
All right, so with that, for Sneaky the Lost and myself, Azrael Ravenheart in the booth, Kigalis on track, Lord of the Synth on Restream, we are getting ready to send you over to Speed Gaming with Fred Coughlin facing up against Brian Williams 42. Thanks, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.